The idea of rampant animal disease strikes fear in the heart of livestock producers, as it should. Not only the devastating loss of livestock in many cases, but the business ramifications are equally, often more devastating across the food chain. In recent years, the threats of highly contagious animal diseases are increasing. In the swine industry, this has been particularly profound since the outbreak of PEDV in 2014. Yet disease outbreaks are rarely predictable. Thus, pig producers need to be prepared to prevent a disease outbreak on their farm and have a plan to respond should a disease outbreak happen. There are numerous steps that can be taken to minimize the risk of a disease outbreak on your farm. Along with developing a biosecurity and business continuity plan, producers should be aware of the basic monitoring and investigative responses that occur at the beginning stages of a disease outbreak. This video will walk you through the basic principles of disease monitoring on your farm and the initial steps of a disease outbreak investigation. With this information, you will be equipped to talk about a health monitoring plan with your veterinarian and take steps to improve your knowledge on disease risks to your swine operation. Let's get started with the principles of disease monitoring. Disease monitoring is an ongoing process in animal care. It does not begin or end with specific points in time. Rather, disease monitoring is a continuous process of preparation, observation and record keeping, reporting, and sampling. Applying these principles to your farm is a straightforward process. It does take upfront planning and dedication to the plan, but can be easily accomplished through applying these principles. For any livestock producer, the greatest two threats in a highly contagious animal disease outbreak are massive loss of livestock and massive disruption to business. Yet because disease outbreaks are rarely predictable, producers are highly encouraged to develop a secure supply plan. For swine producers, the Secure Pork Supply Plan walks you through biosecurity evaluation and planning on your farm. Through this voluntary program, producers learn to evaluate their farm for biosecurity weak points and to create their working plan for preventing and dealing with a disease outbreak. For more information on preparing your Secure Pork Supply Plan, see our video on writing the plan and visit secureporksupply.org. Once you have a plan in place to prevent the spread of disease to and from your farm, don't just follow it. Make it second nature to your farm management. When writing your biosecurity plan, you might notice that there are many references to record keeping. Record keeping is the written form of your observations. You might ask, why do you need records? I know my animals like the back of my hand. However, it can be easy to forget every little interaction you might have had or your animals had off the top of your head. A complete history is needed in the event of a disease outbreak or farm emergency. This is why daily logging of your observations is highly recommended. Information such as medication use, human visitor logs, incoming animal records, semen and feed deliveries, supply deliveries, water and feed usage, etc., can all be utilized to help create a story of how your farm has been operating and how your animals may have gotten sick. Animal disease reporting is twofold, and generally not the farmer's direct responsibility. The first part of reporting is on the farmer, working with your local farm veterinarian routinely, not just when the animals are ill. When a veterinarian knows your animals, they can help your farm determine when disease reporting needs to take place. Without a veterinarian, farmers cannot report any suspected animal diseases. Should your veterinarian suspect that your animals are showing clinical signs of a highly contagious animal disease, such as classical swine fever or foot and mouth disease, your veterinarian will take the following steps. Contact their local veterinary medical officer, State Department of Agriculture, or regional USDA APHIS veterinary office. In Pennsylvania, the local contacts can be found on the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture website. The regional USDA APHIS office is located in Harrisburg. When reporting the incident, the veterinarian will provide a detailed history of the herd or flock, including the species and number affected, when the signs were first noticed, clinical signs exhibited, and travel history. If possible, the veterinarian can send pictures of the lesions and copies of any veterinary test reports they may have had. Should your farm be suspected of a highly contagious animal disease, a state or federal foreign animal disease diagnostician will be assigned to conduct a field visit and collect the samples within 24 hours of a reported suspect animal disease. Samples and results of the field assessment will be submitted for federal testing and review. Should your farm be suspected of a highly contagious animal disease, a state or federal foreign animal disease diagnostician will be assigned to conduct a field visit and collect the samples within 24 hours of a reported suspect animal disease. Samples and results of the field assessment will be submitted for federal testing and review. Depending upon the disease, response activities may begin with presumptive positive laboratory results from the National Animal Health while awaiting confirmation from the National Veterinary Services Laboratory that specializes in foreign animal disease response. Since foreign animal disease incidents can have a significant impact on animal agriculture industry, we cannot afford to wait until all testing has been completed and confirmed. Initial critical decisions involve quarantining the suspected positive premises, issuing movement restrictions, and beginning the process of depopulating affected animals. While this is occurring, epidemiologists will gather additional history about the suspected premises, such as animal movement records and identification, appraisal of animals for producer compensation, and state officials will make decisions on local and federal involvement. Once laboratory results are confirmed, notifications to both domestic and international partners will occur, alerting them to the finding and reporting what steps are being taken to control the outbreak. This last point is key. The primary financial concern with highly contagious animal diseases is the impact it can have on trade and the agricultural industry. For the swine industry, 25% of the total value of pork in the U.S. is generated from exports. While 25% is not the majority, any uncontained animal disease outbreak will likely cause global partners to stop buying U.S. pork. And a 25% loss of market would flood the U.S. market with hogs and cripple the industry, regardless of the size of your operation. Rapid response and containment signals to trade partners that U.S. pork is safe to purchase. The importance of rapid response makes it critical for producers to be cooperative and ready to respond to investigators when a suspected foreign animal disease is found on their farm. Hopefully this video will be of use to you as you build your animal disease response plan. Remember to reach out to veterinary, extension, or government officials for assistance in developing your plan. In the event of a disease emergency, response will happen quickly to quell the spread of disease. Preparation protects your farm from furthering disease spread and your business during a restricted marketing and animal movement response.